Okay, I want to make this video because I'm somewhat shocked, and honestly, I'm just going to drink my Panero soda here, so I'm just going to say this right now. I'm really shocked that Divine is a website and it isn't an app. And for starters, I'm shocked that they released it already. It feels like it's really empty. I know people can post and stuff like this, but the problem is because it's brand new, I feel like they should have never really released it already, and I feel like they should have waited at least a couple months or something like that. I think for social media apps, they have to wait a little bit longer. I don't know how long they've been funding it, but if they waited a little longer, I feel like it would have been better. I mean, honestly, when I go in the app, 99% of the stuff is still loading. Like, it'll literally take 5 minutes so I can watch a 6-second clip. But anywho, I'm really happy about Divine, and I just want to share what I think Divine might be in 10 years in the future. Here's the thing with like stuff like Blue Sky, I don't really see it popular. I think Blue Sky will be the very first social media that will be somewhat like a undermined social media, if that makes sense. It's kind of like higher ups, you know what I'm saying? You know how we have like rich people on the top and poor people in the bottom? It's going to be the same thing with social media, and I feel like Blue Sky is going to be one of the first social medias out there who's somewhat going to be relevant, but at the same time, like it's somewhere where like it's in the middle where people might use in the next 10 years, but I don't really see it being relevant. If not, I really don't see it like be here in 10 years, something with Twitch and stuff like that. But like looking at Divine and looking at like the future for Divine, I can see somewhat like people like being there, and I can see it somewhat kind of dying in a little bit, but again rising up. The thing about Divine is it's literally like, I don't know, you're boring, right? Like you're boring, really? Damn, no. What I'm saying is, like, let's say you're bored, okay? Not boring, okay? You're not boring, okay? But let's say you're bored, right? And, like, you have 5-minute break or something. And let's say you're doing construction and stuff like this. And since a lot of generation and Gen Z do, you know, construction and stuff like this, I can see them go, you know what? I'm just going to watch a, like, 5-6 second clip and then do my own thing. I think that's what Divine is going to be like, especially in the next 10 years. And I think that's what's going to make it popular. Not only because it has no AI, first of all, okay? But also, I think Divine is just going to be popular because there's going to be a lot of people posting random shit, right? I mean, that's literally what Divine is. And I think it's also going to be popular in the next 10 years and probably even somewhat be a threat of TikTok at some point. But I do see it popular simply because Divine is one of those apps where it's not going to be meant to be taken seriously. Again, I mean, it's not like TikTok where you're forced to promote everything. Divine is going to be its own special app where you just do random shit, and, you know, some people will be famous on it, some people will be famous in a limited time, something like that, right? So I think Divine is just going to be there where you literally just post random shit, and at the end of the day, you know, you're happy, everyone's happy, you get a whole bunch of followers, you know, that's pretty much what Divine is. And I think 10 years along the line, I do see it somewhat, even like being on the top 4 or 5 social media apps, you know what I'm saying? I don't really see Facebook going anywhere. I mean, Facebook, again, like for families and stuff like this, like personally, like it might be just number 1 because of families. But if we're talking about career apps, like stuff like that, I think TikTok would be one of them, YouTube, and especially Divine. And the reason is because, like I said, entertainment is really crucial nowadays because like we live in a really dark world. And I think people can use Divine where you just, you know, make 6 random second clips and you can just be happy. And, you know, that's pretty much what I think Divine will be like. I don't really think there's going to be any, like, politics or whatever. I mean, the thing is, I do feel like the generation might ruin it in a way, especially this generation with the whole 6-7 meme. I mean, I'll do it occasionally for fun. Maybe my brother will do it, but like he even tells me like he's in middle school and he tells me he doesn't even say it in school. There's not many people says it in school. So I don't even know about like the whole newer generation is going to ruin it and stuff like this, but I think in the next 10 years, I think it could rival a lot of the apps out there, especially the apps like TikTok, YouTube, and all of that stuff. And I mean, it's going to be one of those apps where you're just posting 6-second clips, you're having fun, no AI, nothing. And yeah, and I think the reason why it's going to be really popular is simply because, you know, I think a lot of bigger YouTubers might even go in there and just do 6-second random nonsense. And I feel like TikTok doesn't really have that, if what I'm saying. TikTok has a little more potential, but the problem is because there's just so many, how do I say that? Like so many people who's trying to promote their channel, it feels like it's just promotion and it feels boring and lackluster. And I think Instagram is just conspiracy theories in my opinion, but I didn't even mean to say Instagram. But what I'm saying is I think Divine is going to be one of those apps where, I think it's just going to be no AI, just random bullshit, you know what I'm saying? And I'm cool with random bullshit, okay? As long as there's cool stuff, I'm cool. And I think that Divine is just going to be one of those apps where you post, you do random stuff, and you leave. And I think like apps like Blue Sky and stuff like this, I think it's gonna die off because we already have Threads, and I think Threads is just basically on fun and all of that stuff. And I don't think we will need another Twitter, right? Another X, and I feel like X is gonna stay a long time and all of that stuff. But I do think Blue Sky is gonna die off, and somewhat I think Divine might be a successor. I actually have a theory that someone might, buy Divine, if that makes sense. Who knows? It could be Elon Musk, someone I don't even know who he is, that rises up in the next 10 years or something, But I do think that Divine has a really good potential, someone buying it. But the problem is someone could also ruin it when they buy it, so I don't know. But I think before all of this hype, and I think it's like really recent, so people are still hyped on the app. And I think before all of this hype, I just tried to think of what makes this app special. And the only thing I can come up with is not only there's no AI, but there's no promotion. And I am all about no promotion, okay? I think there's a right way and a wrong way to promote your channel. And the problem is 99% of people who do YouTube don't succeed because they don't do it the right way. When they promote their channel, they'll sometimes be like, come on guys, I'm a starting streamer, subscribe to me, something like that. And I feel like that's the wrong way, if that makes sense. I think the best way to promote your channel is not only just have clips of yourself, but make clips that not many see and just have fun, if that makes sense. Where you don't really have, it's one of those things where try to promote your channel without promoting your channel. Does that make sense? For instance, I'm not here to promote a channel to anybody, but let's say I want to promote my TikTok, right? I'm not going to go here and be like TikTok and whatever, and I'm saying, come join my TikTok or something like that. And I hope Divine doesn't have any of that, okay? The best way for me I would do it is probably be like, on this channel, be entertaining and whatever, and maybe at the end I'll be like, hey, follow my social medias. That's it. Done, right? And that's literally it. And especially on TikTok, where a lot of people just go ahead and be like, hey, come in my, channel. I don't really like that area very much. What I would probably do is, like I said, just be authentic. First, oh my god, I had a little gasp of air 1 sec. Whew, I literally just kept talking and talking without a breather. But anyways, what I would do if I would promote a channel is literally just first be yourself. And then if people are interested, then, slowly lead them to them. And I feel like TikTok, there's so much people who literally doesn't really follow that and simply just wants that like and follow. It can get annoying, and you can even scroll down a whole bunch of times and you'll find it, right? And I think Divine is going to somewhat actually get rid of that entirely and just mainly focus on 6-second clips, move on. 6-second clips, move on. And I think it's just going to be more of that, entertainment side. And I hope it stays like that for a very long time. I also hope there's no, I'm going to be very careful in what I say, but I hope there's no political stuff. I hope there's no, religious stuff. Literally, I just want an app that's completely filled with entertainment. And I think Divine is going to do something like that, right? And if Divine does it well, if everything goes well, I just want that, right? And you can have religious stuff on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. I feel like in the future we'll have a whole bunch of stuff like that, even politics. But I think there has to be an app where it's just for entertainment, and I think Divine will somewhat deliver it. And I think that's why it's gonna last 10 or even 20, 30 years along the line. I don't really see it last 100 years. I think YouTube will last forever. I think YouTube is one of the rarer apps where it will last for the rest of its life, and literally it will last longer than life in general, you know what I'm saying? But whoo, I am literally not breathing. I'm just talking. But that's pretty much all I have to say in this. I can breathe now. Dude, sometimes when I talk, I sometimes tend to just keep on talking and talking, and I forget to breathe. I'm like, give me a sec. and then moving on. Anyways, but other than that, make sure to like and subscribe and turn on notifications. I just want to talk a little bit about Divine, and let me know what you guys think about it. I think it's a cool idea, but I want to know in the next 10 years. I'll see you guys later, and peace out. Bye.